Yay! So what happened earlier, I know it's nighttime, but what happened earlier was that I was recording, and then in the middle of recording, I got a phone call, and then in the middle of the phone call, like 30 seconds into it or so, my phone died. And so I was like, well, I think I'm going to go to Planet Fitness and take a shower, and then, because, I had my stuff together anyways, and then charge up my phone via my laptop charger. So that worked out. So I was able to do that. And then after that, I came over to Walmart parking lot and finished charging my phone and fell asleep because I was tired. I did buy a few items. Oh yeah, so the reason why I was laughing earlier was because, or sort of laughing, was that I went ahead and was like, I'll go over this part in the parking deck in order to protect myself. Well, I get there and I start driving through it. And as I'm driving through it, tell me why is it... Okay, it doesn't smell as bad. The milk's with the milk spill. Tell me what... Ooh. And the door wouldn't open. Yay. Tell me why, as I was driving through, so the parking garage is supposed to keep the car safe and shaded from, like, let's say, rain and sun. No. What it is that there's apparently holes, or like where it's lined up. So what happened was that the rain, as it was falling, like there were lines where the rain was just falling into the parking deck. I was like, what in the world? Like, I was not expecting this at all. Okay, I'm trying to get some water. I was not expecting this at all. Like, why is water, like, coming through? I forget it. It's like rain lines. Like, forget protection. I suddenly have, like, rain lines where the rain is coming through and I'm getting, like, I'll get soaked. So I ended up parking in between the rain lines so that way I wouldn't get wet. And I was like, okay, good. I'm safe. I'm okay. So, yeah. Alright. And then I ended up buying, like... This one is mandarin orange, and then I also got strawberry, and then I also got sweet tea. Because I was like, you know what? It's on sale. The sweet tea, it's usually a lot more expensive for the dozen or so Arizona cans. I got it for like $2 instead of like $5, $6. So I was like, I will go after it. Alright. I am trying to organize my life, which is apparently somewhat difficult. Oh, come on. There we go. Alright. I think my socks are pretty much dried up. And then... And then I went ahead and ended up going, I went to Planet Fitness, turned on my phone, and then immediately contacted the guy who had contacted me. We ended up meeting up for lunch. So what is that? He is like 60 years old, maybe closer to 70, but he's around that age. He's retired. And he mentioned that we basically talked. It was really interesting. He kept like bringing up certain topics. What was it? A couple of times he mentioned about, like, what was it? Someone who says, at one point he mentioned somebody who says pretty as you. I figured you would be married with like 4 or 5 kids. And I was like, yeah. And I explained to him, yeah, basically, like, I refuse to have sex until after I get married. And so that is, I'm gonna die single. That's basically what that means. I guess I got that out of the way. I've cuddled. I've had hickeys. I've become freaky hickey girl. So I've cuddled. I've become freaky hickey girl. What's another thing that's happened to me? I have enjoying this. What is this called again? Sparkling water. Oh, I have missed sparkling water. Sparkling water, I remember they used to have it with the airlines. I don't think they have it anymore. And I'm like, I've missed sparkling water. I've really, really missed it. So, yeah. I'm enjoying sparkling water. So anyways, yeah, so we talked and he mentioned about that and I was like, yeah, I refuse to have sex until after I get married. And for whatever reason, guys hear that and they're like, oh, would you like to move in with me? And he laughed. He's like, that's not how it works. I was like, I know, right? So like, I explained the story where basically this guy, he asked me to move in with him. I'm like, we haven't been on one date. Like, he brought me food. He did not consider a date because he brought me food. We didn't eat together. And my bowl is slightly bigger now. Yay. I wonder if I can recycle these. Make really cheap money. Contains 0% juice, no sodium, no added sugars. Potassium, 80 milligrams, which is 2%. I think I can recycle this. I thought there would be... Okay, so I guess it is metal can recyclable. Maybe in other states. Oregon, I know, is huge into recycling. Like, huge. One sec. Itchy nose. There we go. Anyways, they're huge into recycling. So is England. But England has it mandatory, and then with Oregon, I think you get money back. I know up in Ohio, I remember, like, my uncle, he would go ahead and crush all the cans, and they would get like 5-10 cents per can. So maybe if I go through Ohio, excuse me, I can see how much they cost in order to, like, or how much they reimburse, save up all the cans, and then that way by the time I get through, I might be able to make $1. Yeah, I might be able to make, so 12, 24, 36, 5. How much is 36 times 5? I might be able to make $2. So yeah. $2. I am $2 richer. Oh, speaking of $2 richer, I decided to look through some of the stuff that they have. And I was like, you know what? I have a lot of stuff. I have a lot of food. I have a lot of clothes. And so I'll need a lot of, I'll need to bring a few items with me whenever I first move, because I won't be able to ship a lot or bring a lot of stuff with me. So I looked around the different stuff and I was like, wait a minute, I have I realized there's some stuff in which I can go ahead. It's like a rooftop thing. And this is like, no matter where I move. So the rooftop thing in which it's like bars and such, and you can go ahead and like have something up there to kind of grasp hold of the top of the roof. That is about $100. And then for a case, in order to place a lot of stuff into it, that will also be about $100. There's two different ones that I'm looking at. One looks as though it's sort of like plastic, and the other one says it's weatherproof. But it's not plastic. Instead, it's some kind of like heavy-duty fabric. The reason why between those two is that the heavy-duty fabric, it's the largest one. It's like 17 inches or 17 feet, something like that. And the other one, it's just heavy-duty plastic. So I was like, you know what? Either one, I'm going to look at the reviews to see which one's better. Excuse me. Because in my case, I am looking at something that's heavy duty, that will last through sun and rain, because, rain. So I need something that will go ahead and be heavy duty in terms of that. So, yeah. I definitely want something like that. So, yay. And I mean, like, excuse me, I am burping. Okay, I'm gonna blow my nose. So anyways, yeah, I looked around Walmart and I found that and I was like, this might work. So yeah, and I might scrunch up these cans of aluminum foil and get $2. Yay. But it might work out, kind of, even though I spent like $4, $8, $10 on the cans. Was that a need? No. Was it a very delightful, enjoyable thing to get? Yes. Is it some kind of variety so that way I don't get bored with whatever I have? Yes. Oh, speaking of refurbishing, getting things on sale, basically, because it's really, everything's going on sale. I've been wanting some extra pillowcases because I was like, okay, I need some more. All the other pillowcases that I have are currently in storage. I'm like, okay, what do I do? So I'm like, I've been wanting some new pillowcases. Well, I ended up walking around because on my phone I have a step counter, which eventually, and what I mean by eventually, you have to catch it at the right time, converts your steps into money. I was not able to figure it out for a while. I think, from what I can tell, you convert it like for me anyways, in my time zone, you convert it at 9 o'clock each night, at least the version that I have. I don't know if that's because they want to make sure that you constantly check it, or if it's because they're like, we're not going to keep track of that many steps for you long term. I don't know. So, what it is that I now know, just keep track of my steps and convert it at 9 o'clock every night. So, hey. What else is there? I'm glad I only have water. Sparkling water. Yeah, that's the main thing. What else? Those are the main things. I decided to walk around and look for solar powered stuff because, I pretty much live in my car. I found out that there are solar powered fans, which sounds great, but at the same time, it only takes the air that you have currently and blows it. So, like, everywhere. So in my case, I'm like, well, unfortunately, I have like, what's it, solar powered fan. In my case though, like it would blow the hot air because it's hot and so humid. So I'm like, okay, I can't do that. I found out that there's like solar powered ovens almost. So what it is that it's like a bag, it opens up and it just reflects the heat. And so I think there's like a plastic tarp over it or whatever. I looked to see if there's any at this location. They have to ship it in, and I'm like, oh no. So I don't, but it'll be here on Wednesday if I ordered it. But I'm like, I think might wait. I don't know. Well, not a lot. I have a few things of oatmeal. I have a lot of mac and cheese. I may just still go for the microwave because basically it's like, go to the microwave and cook it there. I didn't really buy anything that's supposed to go in the oven or on the stove. So, yeah, the oven thing might have been pointless. I'm glad I didn't buy it. I did find solar powered lights, and I was like, you know what? This would be so pretty. This might, be perfect. It was only $10, so super cheap, at least for some of them. Some of them were like $20, $30, where you go ahead, it's solar powered, and it's, the outdoor light where you put it up and you go ahead, and whenever you move, the light comes on. And I can only imagine as I'm falling fast asleep, I go ahead and move, and suddenly bright shiny light right on my face. if I was at all being like, I want to be woken up in the middle of the night by really, really bright light, that would be the thing to buy. I would not be able to sleep, like, ever if I got that. So, yeah, there were like 12 of them or so, and I was like, not quite. Not quite. I could get solar powered lights. Anyways, so some of the solar powered lights that I thought were, oh, you're adorable. Some mushrooms, and they look like lights, or sorry, flowers. So they were about maybe an inch high. There was like 20 or so of them. So what I could potentially do is basically put them up my back window, so that way they can absorb the heat or the light during the daytime, and then at night go ahead and string them up. I might be able to string them up in between like the handles, so I might be able to do that. And if I do that, it's like, okay, you know what, this might work. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm almost always surrounded by light. Like, what would be the point of it? In other words, like, it would be cool. It would just be cool to have, not necessarily to like practical, but it would be just cool to have. Oh yeah, and that one song where it's like, hey, your girl has more money than me. I 100% agree with that. On the flip side though, I think I will end up probably like by like December, I'm hoping. I think I'm going to go after the tea after this. I'm really tired of burping. I still taste that Cajun shrimp. That was really good, honestly. So I had corn on the cob. Came with the corn on the cob. It came with a huge, so you know those regular like red Brussels potatoes? So it came with one of those. And then it came with like a dozen or so shrimp, a dozen or so sausage pieces. So that was all very good. I was like, I want Cajun food because that everywhere has Cajun food, and I want to be sad. I want to say bye to Cajun food. So yeah, I really need to. Yeah. Anyways, I enjoyed it though. It was good. It wasn't too spicy. It was just flavorful. So yeah. There's Brothers Bond Logistics, and it shows Canada and USA. That's kind of cool. So anyways, I have hair. I mean, I know I have hair, but like, yeah. So anyways, what else is there? Hopefully I can continue getting some more rubber bands and make this bigger. That'd be cool. As I said, I can't wait to, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get something with, not sodium, potassium, with potassium. So anyways, what else was there? So I looked at that and I decided no. But honestly, like, just to make stuff feel more homey and relaxing, that would be cool. I think I'll get it once I clear out my car, because right now I can't even sleep in my back seat. And the reason why is because this morning I got like $70, $80, or I think it was like $74 worth of items, including $10 of drinks. So like the mandarin orange, I also have strawberry, and then I have the canned Arizona tea. So I have that. And then along with that, I also have a bunch of pickles and a bunch of olives. Like I have cans of olives now, and I have jars of pickles. So I have that stuff. And then I have like a bunch of boxes of like granola bars and such. I was thinking, you know what, I'll take a majority of this food inside the house. I think I'll take a few cans of the beans inside because I have a lot of beans. And then the drinks, honestly, I think I'll keep in here because I'll have the drinks in a short amount of time. So yeah, probably a couple days, even though they might get really warm. Oh, come on. So, yeah. Good stuff. What else? But yeah, I have a lot of food. I think I have food for a little while. Yeah, and I agree. I'm definitely very much broke. But I'm rich enough to afford a bunch of food. And then honestly, like, even though I'm broke, I'm still able to I have like the $1,000 that's needed for, like, in case of any emergencies or whatever. So that's kind of nice. And then my dad, though, he's still willing to help me out with like certain things. So like my car there's some kind of leak on it. I don't know what's wrong exactly. Why does it feel like the car is leaning? It could be my imagination. It probably is my imagination. So anyways, thankfully my dad's still willing to help me out. And then in my case, I have, what else? So I have, nope, me thinking the car is leaning is definitely my imagination. My wheels aren't flat. So anyways, yeah, I have, oh yeah, and then also I have, so it's basically like diced mango, and then I also have mandarin oranges in small containers. And I basically, yeah, I'll probably keep like one box of those, and then in a week or two, I'll go ahead and like get another box or two. So yeah, the goal is basically have a lot of food, save up for a lot of food, or save a lot of food, and then that way, my bank account's going to continue to cry. Oh, excuse me. I'm gonna stop burping now. This is actually good. Yeah, oh yeah, the guy that I talked to, he's like, yeah, basically he goes ahead and he's going around raising the prices of items by 20 cents. And it's like, wow, because like gas goes up and it'll eventually go down, but unfortunately groceries go up and the chances of them going down are slim. Like the only way that they'll actually go down is if people stop buying them, and it's like, can't really do much. So yeah. Good stuff. I need the drink. Not alcohol, but, I need to drink more. So, yeah. Basically, overall, I am drinking liquids and, yeah, buying a bunch of items so that way in, like, a few months, I can just basically worry about, hey, I need to go and get some food and go to like a storage unit or something. Even though storage units, they're like, oh, you can't have food in them. But at least with my storage unit, I can. Somewhere. I have a lot of food. There's no denying that. So, yeah. But Do I want to sleep or do I want to go ahead and apply for jobs? I think I'm going to try and sleep. So I am basically going to go ahead, take this stuff to the storage unit, and then arrange my back seat and then see if I can apply for maybe one job. Maybe not. So, yeah. At least I have enough food. What else is new? That's basically it. What I've been doing is like collecting food, and yeah, they actually asked some people to come in and work, and I was like, I already have lunch plans with someone. So what have I learned? Make sure I take a shower before 10 a.m. So that way if I need to, I can go ahead and go on in and like work a little while. So yeah. And then that way, because they actually asked for some drivers to come in, and that would have been the perfect time for me to come in and be like, I'm here. But yeah, I think from now on, I'm gonna make sure I take a shower and be ready before, or like by 10. Tomorrow I am taking a friend of mine to her hair appointment. I need to see if I can wake up at like 8, 7:30. And basically, or I could even like drive down, and then while I'm down in the other town, basically the old college town, after that go on over to like wake up at 8. So saying drive over to the mechanic. I can look at my car, and then around 10 a.m. I think is my friend's appointment. So basically after that, I think I'm free for the rest of the day. So yeah, to do whatever. Or I can, she said it should only take an hour, which is going to be surprising. And the only reason why I say that is because she's black. And I've talked to people and they're like, oh yeah, appointments usually last like 2, 3, 4 hours. So like if it really is an hour, I would be surprised. And be like, your friend is a miracle worker. That's all I can say. And then after that, what can I do? Pull the skin off my foot. My skin is like flaking. Alright. So, anyways, I think that's really about it I can think of. Yeah, what is that whenever I bring the car over, they'll look at it. And I was like, earlier today, I was like, oh, I can go ahead and just like bring some stuff and chill. They're like, no, you'll be there for a while. I was like, it's okay. Like, I'll have a book, I'll have my phone. It's okay. And they're like, no, it's hot. I was like, oh, I'll walk over to the school then. It'll be fine. I didn't understand why they were like, it'll take a while. I was like, I'm not gonna be bored. Like, really, I'm not gonna be bored. It's okay. And they're like, oh no, it's hot. It's like, that makes so much more sense. So yeah. What else is there? I think that's really about it that I can think of. I have enough food, so I'm happy about that. I figured out my motivation tactic of getting myself to do stuff, because me being a responsible adult is not huge, but if it throws in like, hey, I will reward myself by like taking money and like buying food or buying out to eat food, then I'll totally do that. So that way it can keep me motivated. Why do I have 42 $1 bills? I don't know. At least it'll keep me entertained, I guess, maybe. Anyways, what else is new? Yeah, well, congratulations on having more money than me. I honestly, yeah, I should have all at this rate, I think, like, even as I'm trying to find a job in another state, I think, let's see, so I just placed down $400 toward my debt. And then if I keep going, at least $400 or $500 each month. I honestly think, let's see, for at the very latest, I think I would have everything paid off in a year at the latest. But honestly, I think I'll have everything paid off in less than a year. So even though it's like, oh my, it's $5,000, I honestly think I'll have everything paid off a lot earlier than that. So I might have everything paid off in like, well, at least for the credit card. My dad, however, he mentioned about like he's willing to pay for my student loans, or not student loans, for my for schooling. I need to go ahead and talk to the bursary and have like an itemized thing to see how much it was paid, or like what was paid for what dates, and then figure out how much my dad went ahead and paid. He probably has it already of how much he paid. And then I'm gonna see like what's the best way to pay. Like if it's through Cash App, he doesn't have Cash App anymore though. There's PayPal, or if I should send him a check or something else like that. Because again, he doesn't have Cash App. Oh, itchy nose. Okay. Go ahead and do that. And then from there, like, I think I'll have my dad paid off. I think I'll have everyone paid off in like a year. So I think I have like $7,000 in debt. But yeah, with how quickly I'll get things done, especially once I find a full-time job, I'll be able to get things done in like a few months, honestly, especially knowing how quickly I was able to get everything paid off last time. Like last time, remember, I started late 2018, and then I had everything paid off by like June 2020. So, and that was like $10,000 in student loans. So I did very well with like before paying off a lot of stuff. And then I saved up $24,000, and that was in like 4 years. So honestly, I think me saving up money is not going to be difficult at all. Especially knowing like what I'm capable of, especially if I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna save up money, or I want to definitely pay off all this money. So yeah, I definitely think it's very, very possible. So yeah. What else is there? I may end up looking for like a miniature solar heater. Yeah, definitely like a solar heater, so that way I can have it out, not running, but out, and then have it off. And then that way, like, let's say I go to Planet Fitness at night and I take a nap and I sleep for a few hours. And then after those few hours, I come out to the car and I go ahead and get the solar heater running, and it heats up my car. So it might work, it might not, I don't know. So yeah. A part of me does want to do the solar oven, because even though it's like, okay, it's a waste of space, there are some items in which I still have to heat up in my bowl, but it's $55. And right now, majority of the food that I have does have to use microwave versus in the stove or the oven. So, yeah. One of the pillowcases that I got for $5. I'm excited. I'm happy I got all of that, so yeah. That way it saves me, like, I've been wanting a pillowcase or two because I really need the pillowcases that I do have. I need to take them off, wash them, and this way I can put other pillowcases on. What else? I'm also going to take the stuffed animals because I have large stuffed animals I don't need in the vehicle because it's just taking up space, and so I'm gonna put them into storage. I think, let's see, so drinks, I'll keep the drinks in here. Yeah. Anyways, I'll talk to you later. Hope that you have a great day. I think that's really about it. If there is anything else you want to talk about, just let me know. Otherwise, I don't know what else to talk about. And because of that, I may not do as many videos. If you're more than welcome to do some videos also, and I'll definitely like respond when I can. Or, you know, basically as soon as possible. I know Friday night I'm working Saturday night, and they'll probably ask people to come in, so that's one of those times where I'm like, I need to be ready at, like, you know, May 11 a.m. May noon, probably noon. And then Sunday I'm scheduled at 4, and they might ask some people to come in earlier than that. I'm also going to see where I can find somewhere that has, like, there is one church, like, way out, like maybe 20-30 minutes out there. They actually serve breakfast. And then if you stay for the late service and just hang out, what they do is that they just put food out for people to have. And I'm like, you know what? I might go for that. So yeah, I spend $10 in gas, and in return I get like free food. I think I'll go with that. So yeah. But yeah, honestly, like, oh, yeah, I'm not sure if I told you this or not, but if I had a chance where basically I have like my own house, or, you know, I was married and like had a house, I would definitely want, like a cupboard, not a cupboard, but like, a place where we could place a lot of food in there, for me and my husband, because especially where days where it's like, hey, you know what, I found all this food, and a pantry, that's what it is called. Susie. I would definitely want a pantry, and basically where I go ahead and place like a lot of this food inside the pantries, especially when a lot of food is on sale. So it's like, hey, I'll go ahead and place all this food and all these items, like inside the pantry, and then that way, like, I don't have to buy any food for like a few months or something. Save food. And occasionally it's like, you know what, I'm bored, and like, let's just walk around and see if we can find clearance items that we actually need. So like food, or maybe a few items where it's like, we don't actually need this, but we'll probably enjoy it in the future to eat it. So like, we don't, like, it's the difference between I need ramen versus like, hey, I want soup, for example. So yeah, in this case, it's like, hey, you know what, there's some soup there that looks amazing. Let's go ahead and get it. So like one family or one guy I know, he went ahead and he got like a bunch of cans of soup from Publix because they have their buy one get one free. So during the fall months, and then that way, like during the fall months, you get that, and then you can have soup throughout the year. So it's like, oh, neat. So yeah. Tea, real brewed sweet tea, Southern style. So yeah, Here's my plan. Simple, not too complicated, I think. Maybe. I'm gonna have to figure out a way of smashing these, though. I wonder if I can roll over them. That might work. I might be able to roll over them. I don't know where. Maybe here. I can just like put it underneath my car and then roll back just a little bit. 5 feet will be good. That might actually really work. I do that and we're good. So yeah, I ended up getting some more food. I got pillowcases because I've been wanting pillowcases for a while. Some more pillowcases. So yeah, now I have more pillowcases. And then I think that's about it that I can think of. So yeah. I admit, life is good. Anyways, I'll talk to you later. Let me know if there's anything else you want to talk about. And I'll respond either tonight or it's 10:11-ish. Probably 10:05. Probably tomorrow. So, yeah, talk to you later. Bye.